Mathematics is an essential and crucial role that businessmen need to take into consideration because it is the heart of every major decision making and planning within a business. Good morning, Mr. Sumarsono. My group and I, consisting of me, Jofes, Fadil, Kezia, Alfinata, Stefani, Nicholas Kwok, Nicholas Lawrence, and Vincent Carlos, will be tackling a business case of Bolavan Farms for our final project. Moving on to the next slide. Bolavan Farms was founded in the early 2007 by Sam Say, a Lao refugee who lived in Canada and Hong Kong. Bolavan Farm was a coffee business with a social purpose. With a headquarters in Hong Kong and a farming facility in Laos, the venture's mission was to provide high-quality coffee to the worldwide public while helping to alleviate poverty among coffee farmers in Laos. Next slide. So, what is the main course of action? What is the main goal that Bolivan Farms is trying to execute? Well, Bolivan Farms wants to implement a vertical integration for a social cause at Bolivan Farms. This will be explained throughout the presentation and how they are able to achieve it.
So for key question of Bolivan farm cases, how can Bolivan Farm achieve their objective through their new strategy of expanding the supply chain? How can BF obtain higher profit and return on investment from their newly improved business model? The last one is what needs to be done to ensure the sustainability of Bolivan farm operation?
Okay, so the next one is PESTEL analysis. For the political, taxes were applied by provincial governments on an arbitrary basis and were required to be settled in advance. A non-transparency policy was applied to exportation regulation due to government officials' lack of understanding of international trade procedures. And rampant corruption in Laos. And for the economic, 76.8% of the Lao population live under the poverty line of $2 per day in 2007. And for the social, the combined primary, secondary, and tertiary education gross enrollment ratio in 2007 was 59.6%. And according to UN statistics, for the years 2000 until 2008, over 75% of the economically active population worked in agriculture.
Okay. For the technology, the methods that is used are still rather traditional in harvesting and organic farming technique. Environment. The place of the farm is located in mountainous areas. And for the legal, a 1997 Laotian law for the transfer of land inheritance in terms of land use but did not envisage the transfer for the title to the land. And for the business registration and licensing, procedures provided limited legal options and were discretionary and lengthy, taking as long as 195 days in 2005 and up to 100 days in 2008.
This is the supply chain between a traditional coffee supply chain and Bolivan Farm supply chain. For a supply chain is a network of people, organizations, resources, activities, and technologies involved in the manufacture and sale of products. The supply chain includes everything from the delivery of raw materials from the supplier to the manufacturer to the final delivery to the customers and consumers. So in here in the left, it's exhibit 1, which is it's the traditional one, which means that the only thing that's missing compared to exhibit 4 is that the traders and exporters aren't there, which means that compared to exhibit 1, Exhibit 1 and 4. Exhibit 4 has less expenses compared to Exhibit 1, and it's basically the process of where the coffee beans to the roasted coffee. It's basically that, the supply chain. Next slide.
Force field analysis is framework for investigating the factors that influence a certain situation. Originally, it is a social situation. It deals with the force that drives the movement towards the target or desired state, or the force that blocks the movement towards the target or desired state. Now I'll be explaining the driving forces that affect the previously mentioned key questions. The first one is driving forces. Employee motivation. What is that? It is most of the Boulevard farms, employees are secondary school graduates. Due to this, the farmers' lack of skills. Boulevard farms should plan a training period of the employees to improve their skills. The training period is needed with a purpose to aim higher profit. By improving themselves with hard skill, they can create a better work environment. The better the employee skill, it will increase the mass production and sales. Employees will get motivated by doing this kind of training. This training will affect the Boulevard Farms production, and Boulevard Farms will get more profit from doing this period of training. The second one is financial analysis. Boulevard Family is a new developing company. They are just about to start using technology rather than mix or human labor. As a new developing company, they need to analyze their financial situation. By analyzing their current financial state, they can improve and get more financial stable. Analyzing the financial is by analyzing where the missing part of the financial calculation is and controlling their budget production. When Boulevard Farms is successfully controlling their financial, it will improve their future financial stability and get better at gaining capital. Financial analysis also leads to higher profit and better at improving cash flow. This will benefit them because the rate of return will get faster and the investor could trust Boulevard Farms more and give more investment and capital to Boulevard Farms.
Now, moving on to restraining forces, there are two restraining forces that are part of this force field analysis. First is lack of standard workforce, and second is unattained rate of investment. Lack of standard workforce means that with the newly applied training system for Boulevard Farms employees, it is impossible to send out all of their workers all at once. So Boulevard Farm would have no choice but to split them into groups. One disadvantage or the obstacle of this training period is that some workers who are already trained would start working at a different pace compared to those who have not trained. This disrupts the overall workforce and might cause confusion or clash in mass production of goods. The initial standard of work production is changed due to the half trained and half untrained employees. If Boulevard Farms production rate decreases, sales would also automatically decrease, especially with Boulevard Farms capital already being used for the training program. Boulevard Farms aim for a higher profit would falter instead of succeeding. Unreturn rate of investment would be due to the instability of Boulevard Farms' current operational situation. Boulevard Farms' income and profit return from its sales is not set. It doesn't have a stability yet. While investors will always demand their rate of return at the same exact time without fail. Lack of profit might lead to payment failure of investments, and these investors might stop their investment agreement, and the business will have a decrease in capital, which disrupts production and sales, leading the business to deteriorate and possible bankruptcy. Next slide.
With the condition that happened to the Boulevard Farms company, we agreed to make a recommendation for the company. In the recommendation one, which is additional technology, where we have considered the economic background of the community, especially the economy for the coffee farmers themselves. In this first recommendation, we agreed to add technology for the company, which is presented to ease the workload of the workers. We said that back to the company's own objective, namely eliminating poverty for the coffee farmers. However, there are many factors that hinder the fulfillment of the company's objectives, such as the lack of educational standards in Laos, which makes it difficult for the people to manage their own daily finance. No matter how much salary the company gives, it will run out quickly if they are not trained or taught to manage their respective finance. Thus, we made a recommendation to add our technology as well as provide a goal saving system or enterprise saving, where the workers will be given a salary more than the original nominal by putting the excess into the company's savings, which can be taken by each employee once a year or annually, unless there is an urgent matter for the health of workers. They can take the go saving or the company saving semi-annually, which can be taken even in the 6 month. In addition to eradicating poverty to coffee farmers, we also plan to educate workers indirectly through new program that will be implemented by this company. Moving to the next slide.
So there is a forecast benefits. First, that Bolivian farms provide the opportunity to source coffee ethically from a sustainable production process in low PDR that nurture ecosystem and promotes healthy and productive agrarian community developments by adding some fascinating technologies. The farm is advocating fair and dignified prices. The farm equips farmer with technical transfers and empowers them through contact farming programs using a new foreign technology. Since the new technology exists and helping human life, especially in industrial, the benefit of this modern era, more and more workers help with the machine. So in other words to say, it saves many time, effort, and make a good future for industrial through Bolivian farms. Resident farmer program additional benefits are also provided to families. For example, children on site with their parents are able to benefit from 3 meals daily and receive English classes. They are also able to attend school in nearby village since the start of the farm in April 2007. More than 120 farmers graduated from the training program and went back to their villages. While this has an immediate impact on the farmer's personal life, it also contributes to preserving biodiversity in low PDR. Graduates will usually go back to their villages and can practice individual integrated organic farming. In this way, Bolivian farms can provide an alternative to the large monocrop plantation of agroforestry companies who are buying upland throughout the country. Next slide.
Okay, so for the next slide is our second recommendation. Not just only adding technology, we also would like to try to expand our business further. We know that to make a company company bigger with a higher income, it's possible, but it's hard if we only depend on coffee farm. Even though we grow it naturally with educated those people and may produce high quality of coffee, we still have a lot of coffee farm rival on the market that we need to compete with. From our previous buffalo farm experience, people were reluctant to change their coffee supplier or to pay a higher price to buffalo farm. And also, most of coffee contracts were set up for 2 years or more. That being said, we want to try to expand our business, not just depend on coffee farm, but also by making our personal brand. We want to make our first coffee shop that sells finished coffee product and also raw coffee straight. So not only just raw coffee, we also sell roasted coffee and ready to drink coffee. And also we plan to provide our product that it is equivalent to middle class and lower pardon me from middle economy and lower economy while giving the same quality of good coffee. And after that, we plan to develop our own company image so that people want to buy our coffee and know what is our special or unique about it. Moving to the next slide.
As previously mentioned, Laos is a third world country, and we would target different background, different economic background of each person. So, based on our research, we have concluded that the median salary of Laos is 4,910,000 Lao Kip, which is equivalent to $278.99 a month. However, that is the median salary. The salary ranges from $76.5 to $1,351 monthly. So we do have to understand that the majority of people would earn less than 20,300,000 Lao Kip, and 50% of its population earns less than 4.9 million Lao Kips, meaning that we would have to set a price for the coffee that is reasonable for most of the classes. And here we can see the distribution of expenses. So people in Laos would spend their majority of income on markets. This can be on um, food and other necessities that you find in the market. Afterwards, their rent. After the rent, transportation, and then utilities. We can see that sports and leisure is actually greater than clothing and shoes. This is a good opportunity for a coffee shop that Bolavan Farm would like to open to be executed. Moving on to the next slide. So we've established that we would like to open a coffee shop, but where would we open it? Well, we would like to open the coffee shop in Savannah Cat. So Savannah Cat is actually the second biggest city in Laos after its capital. But why did we choose Savannah Cat compared to its capital? Well, we have to understand that it has a beautiful coastal landscape, which means that we can open up a coffee shop with an aesthetic view for the customers. It's rich and vibrant history. It is an old city, and urbanization happens in only several areas, not all of it. And it is actually one of the favorite tourist destinations in Laos. This is a good opportunity for us because not only could we target the locals, we could also target the expats. And the population of the city is 1,070,035 people. In addition to that, Savannah Cat is actually located only 2 hours from Bulawan Plateau. Its capital is nearly 8 hours from Bulawan Plateau using a car. So transportation wise, the cost is lower if we choose Savannah Cat than its capital. And we can see here that the population, the age distribution, that the age groups of 0 to 14 years old is 30% of the population, and 15 to 64 years old takes up more than 65%. This is good because it means that the working age of Laos and people who could spend in the coffee shop is greater. Moving on to the next slide. So after opening up a coffee shop, we have to understand how much does it really cost. Well, in total, it cost around 28,600,000 Lao Kips, or roughly around $1,925. Where would we allocate this budget? Well, you have to understand that the building is very expensive in Laos. So only for the building alone, the monthly rent price I'm sorry, the annual rent price for buildings is around 10 million Lao kips. After paying for the building, we have to purchase equipments. Purchasing equipments to roast coffee is pretty costly. It's around 8.1 million Lao kips. And we see that salaries in Laos is also quite expensive. It the average, as previously mentioned, it is around $200, which is 4.9 million Lao kips. You add that with the transport of 3.5 million Lao kips and as well as green coffee. The reason why we choose to sell green coffee as well is because we see that a few customers would probably like to roast their coffee alone, meaning that we would sell pure beans, pure coffee beans in the store for them to purchase it. That way, they can create their unique coffee and the way they like it, in addition to our roasted coffee that we sell. After discussing about the cost structure, let's move on to the revenue forecast. So here we can see that the variable cost is not that expensive, and the revenue could be said that it could cover someone's monthly wage. So, as previously mentioned, we would like to sell coffee that has been roasted by us and their coffee beans. So, if the average coffee shop, they sell around 200 to 300 cups of coffee a day, and if we are able to sell it at 17,500 Lao kips, or roughly just above $1, with the cost of only 7,500 Lao kips, which is less than a dollar, we could earn a profit margin of 10,000 Lao kips per cup, meaning that if we produce 300 cups of coffee, we would earn around 3 million Lao kips. Adding that with the coffee beans, we could earn up around 339 Lao kips. So the daily revenue is estimated we can estimate the daily revenue to be around $224.5. And if we calculate that by 30 days, we can get the monthly revenue, which is around $6,735. This is way more than the cost structure that has been explained previously. To open up a shop, it costs less than $2,000, but the monthly expected revenue is $6,700. And from this, we can see that opening a coffee shop is a good recommendation and it has a good opportunity in the future.
So we'll go to the next slide is forecast benefit two. In the forecast benefit two, we have three benefits based on the recommendation two. From the first one is the price are affordable for all economic circle of society. As in the recommendation two in the Bola farm aim that provide a price equivalent to the middle to lower economy with a good quality. It means the price are affordable for all economic circles of society. Many coffee lovers are still struggling with the high price of the product. And we, as a coffee company, we want to provide coffee that can be enjoyed at a low price but with high quality. This is also our strategy that we have to compete with the competitors who sell the same coffee business. And from the point two, we have obtained higher profit and return on investment from their newly improved business model. In the recommendation one, it is start that the technology plays a role in increasing the production of Balapan farm. When the production increase, profit will also increase, and this will open up great opportunities to develop and advance the coffee business also. That by the fact opening a coffee business is a very promising business opportunity The growth of the coffee shop in the world is very rapid because of drinking coffee has become a lifestyle in all circles. Coffee is not only enjoyed by men but also women, but both young and old, because coffee seems to have become a daily ritual in the society every day, and it certainly provides a huge opportunity for the coffee shop business. And the last is in the recommendation two. It is in from the we want to develop company name or image and implement a new business, and then in here we have benefit of it, and we will form of a company identity in the society. And basically, company identity is how a company presents itself to the public. The Balafam Farm coffee business is made for a social purpose, with a mission to provide high quality coffee to the worldwide public while helping to the alleviate poverty among the coffee farmers. This will be the identity of the Balafan Farm coffee business. Therefore, we will try to win the company competitions by making innovative products, modified products, and have a high value. By implementing the new business idea, our goal is also for that. And then we will try to expand our market and gain more. We go to the next slide, please. So that's all for our presentation today. And thank you for your attention, Mr. And thank you very much. See you again. Thank you, sir.